Hello and welcome to your Friday, June 10th edition of The Daily. I'm Jackie Pickering, joined by Greg Lalas, and we are here in Kansas City for the debut of LIVESTRONG Sporting Park, where Kansas City faced off against the Chicago Fire. Greg, very interesting game tonight. We had the goalkeeper sent off, a questionable no call, a fan running onto the field. What did you think of tonight's game?
It was an incredible game all around. I think right from the start when Lance Armstrong came in and gave his speech before the game, the energy in this house was flying, and Kansas City came out sort of thinking that way as well. They had a lot of energy early on. They had a couple of good chances actually to get on the score sheet. Didn't happen in the end. Game ends up 0-0. Lots of controversy though.
You mentioned the lots of controversy, the biggest one being that no call there in the end. What did you think of that?
Oh, you know, when you look at it, certainly live, it looked like a penalty, and we've seen a couple of replays now, and Jackie, I think this is a penalty. Ristich comes in a little sloppy, certainly almost reckless, and he takes out Omar Bravo, and Bravo goes flipping all over and gets a little bit of an injury there, and I personally think that's a penalty, and the moment called for it. You thought the energy in the house was so much that you felt like there was no way this referee wouldn't go and make that call. It's really astounding to me that it happened, but you know what? It did, and the game ends 0-0.
You mentioned to me earlier this week that it's Kansas City's first time playing here, obviously, Chicago's first time playing here, obviously.
Yep.
So did you feel like there was a home field advantage?
Definitely. I think in the end, Kansas City proved themselves that this is a soccer hotbed right here, and I think they definitely did that.
All right, well, enough about Kansas City. There was some Gold Cup action going on Thursday night as well. Let's talk about that.
Well, the big game is in Group A. Obviously, Mexico taking on Cuba. They got a 5-0 win. Chicharito and Giovanni get on the score sheet for Mexico. In the other game, Costa Rica has to come back in order to get a 1-1 draw with El Salvador. A little bit of a surprise there. But the big news in Gold Cup right now, Jackie, of course, 5 players from Mexico testing positive for performance-enhancing drugs. They say that it came from tainted meat that they ate back in May. That's when the test was taken as well by the actual federation. The biggest name of it, Memo Ochoa, the goalkeeper, the starting goalkeeper. All 5 players are going to be sent home.
All right, well, that is obviously never good, but you can follow more Group B action tonight, and of course, the United States, they will play tomorrow. And now, moving forward, there's some more action going on around the league. Yep. The New York Red Bulls facing off against the New England Revolution. Yeah,
and this is a big game, I think, for the Red Bulls in particular. The Revolution have been struggling. They always kind of do. Last week, it wasn't a great result for them. They felt like they could have done a little bit better. They didn't quite get it. They're going down to New York, where they've had some success over the years. For the Red Bulls, though, they have not gotten a win. We saw what happened last week. Hans Backe had a little bit of a blow up in the locker room, and a lot going on with that club about trying to find the mix that's going to work. They're missing a lot of players through the Gold Cup. However, Red Bulls are playing at home. This is when they have to start getting points, getting 3 points every time.
All right, well, tune in to Fox Soccer Channel at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for that one. And of course, you can follow that game as well as Gold Cup action right here on MLSsoccer.com.